I would have much more respect for Pritzker if he'd call me up and say, I have a problem. Can you help me fix it? I would be so happy to do it. I don't love, not that I don't have the right to do anything I want to do. I'm the president of the United States. If I think our country's in danger, and it is in danger in these cities, I can do it. No problem going in and solving, his difficulties. But it would be nice if they'd call and they'd say, would you do it?
An appeals court blocked Trump's deployment of the National Guard to Chicago. So for now, about 500 National Guard troops from both Illinois and Texas are stationed at a base about an hour outside of Chicago. And Trump's only legal action going forward to force the troops in is to call the Insurrection Act.
And that's one of the things about Antifa. You've heard President Trump say multiple times they are organized, they are a criminal organization, and they're very organized. You're seeing people out there with thousands of signs that all match, pre-bought, pre-put together. They're organized and someone is funding it. We're going to get to the funding of Antifa. We're going to get to the root of Antifa, and we are going to find and charge all of those people who are causing this chaos in Portland and all these other cities across our country. Talk to all the influencers who have been threatened and beat up and their lives threatened from Antifa members. It's going to stop under Donald Trump.
It's incredibly disturbing, Sandra. Homeland Security investigations, the FBI, our interagency intelligence partners are really all over this. What we're seeing, as you mentioned, is this tiered system, this coordinated and highly organized waging of war against our law enforcement and a terror campaign against them. We're seeing that they're offering $2,000 for intelligence about our ICE law enforcement agents including their family, to dox them, $5,000 to kidnap an ICE law enforcement agent, and then even more money to kill them. And we've talked a lot about on this program and on other programs on this network about these ICE apps to locate ICE and CBP agents. And it's not just obstruction of justice that we've been seeing with that. We're also seeing this. They're now handing intelligence over to these cartels, these criminal rings, to go after our law enforcement, harass them, dox them, kidnap them, and God forbid, kill them, Sandra. It's very disturbing.
Tell us, first of all, why you're in Chicago on this mission.
Well, we came here to make sure that these brave men and women that serve in ICE, who are protecting our communities and upholding federal law, I want to make sure that they know that Republicans have their back. The president, Kristi Noem at Homeland Security, all the leadership, Tom Homan, we are all in this together, and we want them to know that even though assaults on ICE officers have risen by 413% just in this recent period, Democrats are leading that. Republicans are on the opposite side. We are for the rule of law and for law enforcement, and we are doing everything we can to support that.
Hey, everybody. Look, I've heard some really disturbing reports of ICE agents in the city of Chicago not being able to find a restaurant that will serve them. Guys, come on. I mean, even Nazis need nourishment. So here's the thing. I am connected in the city of Chicago. I'm going to give you an incredible referral, okay? You're going to want to find this little place on the south side of Chicago, okay? It's called Mi Verga, okay? M-I-V-E-R-G-A. Great little authentic spot, serves a Mexican fusion type of menu, okay? You're going to want to ask for the chef, Mr. Bolas, okay? He's going to take care of you. He's going to recommend the chef's special to you, okay? That's a plate of vergas, okay? Only thing, though, is you're going to have to remove your mask to fit the verga, in your mouth. Definitely is going to be worth it, though, okay? Please make sure you leave them a review as well, 5 stars all the way around. It's going to be a great experience. I guarantee it. And remember, don't forget to leave a review and let the world know how mi verga tastes. Thank you.
I agree that this isn't about Pritzker versus Trump, but I have a question of who's going to protect the people of Chicago and the people of this country from the ICE agents that are terrorizing the city. I live in the city of Chicago right now. People are absolutely terrified. There are amassed unidentified ICE agents in unidentified cars driving throughout the city, grabbing people off the streets. They took a Black Hawk helicopter and they rappelled down an apartment building, ransacked the entire place, handcuffed everybody, including kids, and then looked at their immigration papers later. They're not going after people who are here violently, who are being violent. They're going after all kinds of people based on their skin color, and that isn't right. And look, There are real problems in this country on immigration. We should secure our border. We should remove people who are violent. But this situation is out of control. And there are a ton of peaceful protesters at the Broadview facility right now. Now they're calling in the National Guard, which the people of Chicago do not want. This needs to end because the situation here is a powder keg and it's only going to get worse.
The Chicago Sun-Times did excellent reporting and said that some of the children were naked in the streets. And you saw broken windows. They basically trashed the entire apartment complex. And you heard the testimony of people who lived there, American citizens who lived with some of these Venezuelan folks who had come to the United States for refuge. And they said, you know, we together cleaned up the hallways of the apartment because the landlord was so negligent that we as a community came together and they were our neighbors and we would use our phone app to translate how to communicate with one another and do tasks. And for me, I hear that story and it's the most American thing that I can think of. In also the flip side of it, the darkness, which is this apparently slumlord who is blaming supposed gang activity where very little evidence exists to justify basically being negligent towards those tenants, which include folks who might be here as immigrants or maybe are undocumented, maybe are just seeking asylum, and also lower income Americans. And so the communities that are being targeted right now by these ICE raids, which include both immigrants and American citizens. The American citizens that are being affected here are also the least likely to speak up, because they're already victims of over-policing and are usually in cities and are black or brown. And so much like what I see here with ICE is the federalizing of broken windows policing, which has led to mass incarceration for so many black people in this country, and using those tactics in an immigration and national security context, which should scare all of us. It's fascist.
I know we've done this thought experiment many times over the last decade, but can you imagine what would happen if Obama had sent troops into anywhere and then just said, you know what? I don't care what the governor has to say. I don't care what the law has to say. I'm going to send the troops in anyway. But really, he was just trying to cover up like his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. And mind you, Republicans and MAGA voters, they were so keen on the Epstein list getting exposed and putting all the criminal traffickers into prison, which I guess is a noble and worthy cause. But now that there are guys on it, they don't know how to handle it. At the end of the day, that's why Trump is sending these troops in everywhere. Yeah, fascism, and yeah, he's trying to expand his authoritarianism. But at the end of the day, he's trying to distract and deflect from the fact not only that he's caught up with Epstein, but that he's destroying the economy. Prices are up. They're continuing to skyrocket. He won't stop the trade war against the entire planet, literally, and people's lives are continuing to go down the drain who count on things like Medicaid and healthcare coverage, which is why the government is shut down, by the way, as people know. People aren't fooled. They know this isn't a Democrat ploy. This is Republicans trying to take health care away from even more people and make it even more expensive and unaffordable than it already is. And so that's all we're dealing with here at the end of the day. But yeah, Trump, if you're going to pull the Insurrection Act, your popularity is only going to continue to crumble. Not that you really care about that, but at the end of the day, this is where we are.